Okay. Hey, Kate, how's it going?
Good.
So, a couple exciting things happened yesterday. And so, one of the things that's always good to do is test your systems, make sure they actually work. So, hold on, who's coming out? I'm here to report that my smoke detector, the service that I hire, that's wired into my home works well too, and the fire department did not have to be called.
Which is a good thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So here's the deal. We talk about, appliances that, you shouldn't leave things plugged in. Okay. So in this case, it's my air fryer, which I think I did a little research, and I think like one of the number one causes of house fires is the air fryer.
Yeah. I wouldn't get one. I don't have one.
I love my air fryer.
Yeah.
Love my air fryer. Okay. But I don't leave it plugged in. Right. So the one I have is had, let's clarify that. It's a little on the older side. It's at least 5 years old, if not older. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure I traveled. It made its way from Connecticut to Washington.
Okay.
All right. So I was using it the other day, yesterday, and I'm making burgers and fries in it, which I've done many times before. Then all of a sudden, my house is filling up with smoke, which I don't necessarily notice because I'm not paying attention. It's on a timer. All right. And then all of a sudden, the smoke alarm is going off, and now the dogs are going crazy. And I see my air fryer is now actually smoking.
Turned into a smoker.
It turned into a smoker. Hamburgers are actually pretty good. So I unplugged. The first thing I did is I unplugged it.
Mhm.
It didn't actually catch fire, but I did have. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is like helpful things to have around your home. And
Mhm.
one of the things I have is a fire blanket. Sits
Mhm.
right on the stove. Right. So
Yep.
I was ready if it did catch fire. All right. And through the noise of the smoke detector and the dogs going nuts, my phone starts to ring. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I better answer that because I do have a paid service that monitors my smoke alarms and house alarms.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, your fire alarm, your smoke alarm is going off. I go, yeah, I know. Yeah. She says, everything good? I says, yeah, it's just the air fryer. I says, we'll make sure the fire department cancels the call. Thank you. Okay. So out into the garbage it went. And it has been one of those things that I knew it was old. I love the thing. I love my air fryer. So I was debating, well, should I get a new air fryer? Which that solved that question earlier today. Okay. Because I don't want to buy something I don't actually need. All right.
Right.
And then on the flip side is tariffs are coming down. Is that $100 air fryer now going to be $200?
Right.
Should buy it. Okay. So I went over to Costco, bought a new air fryer that also now dehydrates and air broils and air bakes. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
And so it's a new thing, but I was prepared for it. Okay. So testing your systems every once in a while is good. And also having somebody who with a calm head. All right. Because the dogs are going nuts. And my husband's screaming at the dogs to shut up. And I'm like, dude, just take a deep breath and go outside. All right. Because I can't even hear myself think over the noise level that's in the house. Okay. So unplug your air fryers. That's my piece of advice for you today.
But at least you know now that your systems work.
My system works.
Yeah.
Works very well. And here's the other thing too. I had to remember my code to shut the alarm.
And how did that go?
It took me a few minutes. I've only got a couple of codes. Only got a couple of 4-digit codes I use. Which one is it?
So did you write it down?
Yes, I did. Oh, and also last week, I wrote down all the phone numbers of all, not saying emergency contacts, but family contacts.
Okay.
I haven't laminated it yet, but I will. But I got all kids, spouses, grandkids, brothers, and sisters.
Very good. So let me ask you, when your fire alarm was going off and you had this emergency going on, did it ever occur to you at any point in time, like, what would I do if I had to evacuate?
That popped in my head. Okay. But again, everything is set up to go. So if there was actual fire that I could not put out, and
Mhm.
that's a possibility. All right. So let's just say there was an electrical fire, right? And the blanket I had, I put over it. Still, maybe it's too big. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Yes, I could get my dogs out because I'm prepared to leave.
Right. But now with the dogs going crazy and actually being in the emergency moment, did you kind of take that in to see how you would be able to get the dogs out, if that was going to be easier or harder than you thought?
No, actually, in my case, I think it would have been easier because I could have gotten them outside into the backyard pretty quickly.
Okay.
And from there, I could have gotten their collars and leashes on and gone out through the fence door into the car.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it too. Like, you actually killed a couple of birds with one stone with all of that yesterday without even realizing it.
And so also noticing what happens when the fire alarm goes off with my dogs too is another thing.
Right.
Okay. They were all centered and barking around where the noise was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't trying to hide. They were all in, I need to defend my home mode.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. So one of the things that everybody needs to get, and I got it as a gift from a friend, but I have a fire blanket. So, Kate, you have a website. Do you sell fire blankets?
I do. I have a couple on hand right now. Um, and I'm revamping the shop right now. So yes, I do have a couple of fire blankets that just came in stock.
Okay. And what is the price on those?
Like $24.99, I think.
Okay. $25.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what? 3 coffees at Starbucks?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth it.
It's an inexpensive item.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like the fire extinguisher, right? But what's nice about the blanket is I shouldn't say this just yet. I'm gonna take that back and I'm gonna hold on to that thought. But yeah, it's just like having a fire extinguisher to have the blanket right there as well. And like I had said in an earlier podcast, the other thing about the fire blanket is if you had the fire extinguisher and let's say, you were in a situation that you had to kind of walk through the fire to get out of the room, at least you'd have the blanket to maybe kind of block that on you, wrap yourself around it.
Okay. All right. And if I use a fire blanket,
Mm-hmm.
can I reuse it or is it garbage and I need another one?
I have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure to sit there and say, be confident with that answer. I have to look into it. I thought, from my understanding, it depends on how big the fire was, as far as whether or not that you would be able to reuse it. So,
All right. Well, hold on. Google search. Can you reuse a fire blanket? Top fire. Can I hear fire from a firefighter? All right. As a general rule, Fire blankets should not be reused. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that answers that question. Had I used it, I would have needed another one.
Right. Depending, I think.
Okay. It probably wouldn't hurt at some point to have a second one, as a backup. So if I use that one, I can toss it and I'll have a spare one already there, not have to wait for it to be delivered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. So you'll only have a couple of fire blankets, and I may need to go to your website later. So
Yeah.
what's your website again?
www.helpllp.com, and then just go in the shop section.
Okay.
So.
All right. So anywho, I have a brand new air fryer, and that is going to be unplugged when not in use.
That's very good.
So before we go into like the other things that we should have in our homes, okay?
Yeah.
Let's hit our one and only commercial.
Okay.
Maybe.
Are you tired of putting off your emergency and disaster planning manual? Look no further. This 67-page fillable template will make the process a breeze. Simply fill in the blanks for your business and gain access to checklists for supplies, common hazards, debriefing, evacuation and shelter-in-place protocols, resources, recovery, maintenance, as well as best intake practices. It's time to take action and be prepared. Get your copy today at positiveed.com/books.
There we go. All right. So some of the other things that you should have in the house. Okay. One of the things I have for each of the dogs, and originally I saw this at Super Zoo when I went last year, because prior to that I had some pretty crappy ones. Face masks. Wonder if this is the size for Pooh. Pooh, you want to be a model for us? He's like, no. There we go.
He's going to be very unhappy with you.
He's really unhappy with me. Okay. So Pooh wearing his face mask. And here's one of the things too. You periodically should practice this with your pets so that they're comfortable wearing it. So if you have to put it on, then, they're not going to fight you for it. This is a size small, by the way. Okay. I have one for each of my dogs. Now, why would I have a N95? Is it N95 or K95? N95 mask. These are not the cheapest ones out there, but it's probably one of the best ones that I've seen. Okay. So I live in Washington. I'm not on the side of the state that really gets wildfires, but you would use this for wildfires because you don't want your pets inhaling smoke, right? But we have volcanoes here. Kate, did you know we have volcanoes?
I do not think I did.
Yes, we have several active volcanoes in the state of Washington.
Wow.
Every once in a while, we get the panicked warnings. Mount Rainier is about to blow. Ooh. I can see why sometimes people don't pay too much attention to it because they say that the signs are, and then some other scientist goes, they don't know what they're talking about, not yet. Then 6 months later, it's about to blow, and then another scientist comes in and is saying no. So who do you believe? I don't know.
How far is that from you?
It's close to the airport. Okay. If it blows when I'm here in Squim, less likely that I'll have use for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Depending on wind and how much things travel. So maybe. Okay. But Mount Rainier is that beautiful mountain by the airport.
Okay.
Okay. I think there's 7 volcanoes in the state of Washington.
So when you took your CERT class, did you guys go over that?
Yeah, but I took my CERT class in Connecticut.
Oh.
Okay. Because I've found out that this county in Washington did not have an animal and emergency disaster plan.
Mhm.
They're working to correct that, and I'm on the planning commission for that. Okay. So part of that is Ernesto has to take the CERT training. I'm just going to retake it with him. Because we're talking, it's got to be 10, 15 years since I took that class.
Oh, yeah, you should retake it.
Yeah, I should retake it. So when we get around to that, we'll take it at the same time.
Yeah.
Plus, they want us to take some FEMA classes,
Mm-hmm.
where we could do that online.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan there. So this is one of the things. The name of the company is K9 Mask. What's the website? K9mask.com. K, the letter K, the number 9, mask.com. Like I said, it's not the cheapest one that's out there, but I think it's the best one I've seen. All right. The other thing I have is a litter.
Mm-hmm.
Which I got off of Amazon. I mean, it's pretty small. It does not take up much space at all.
No, they don't.
Okay. And I'm not going to open it up because then I'm going to have to fold it back up. And hopefully it fits back in the bag, but I'm not taking that chance. Okay. I don't know if it's like the silver blankets.
Oh, yeah, forget about that.
Yeah, I'm going back in the little silver bag again. No,
No.
I'm not taking a chance. If I need to use it, I will take it out. But it's rated for up to 500 pounds. Okay. And even if you can't lift, you can drag with this. It's got handles to drag.
Was that a canine one or is that just a overall?
This is a human one.
Okay.
All right. And it would have been nice to have this when we still had Spirit and he needed to go to the vet.
Yeah.
It was really difficult to get him to the vet. But anyway, so I have a quick litter. That's what it's called. And I got it off of Amazon, and I probably paid about $25 for it.
Yeah.
All right. So is that something else you have on your website?
I do. I have a couple of those on hand as well.
Okay. And the other thing that I have is this little doodad.
Ah, the rescue retriever.
Yes, and you could tell everybody about the rescue retriever. You know more about it than I do.
So the rescue retriever was invented by actually a local firefighter here in Arizona. And he came up with this idea because of the fact that when they go in to try and find pets, sometimes it's not that easy. So what that is it strobes a light. It's a smoke detector, so it goes off like a normal smoke detector would, but instead of the really, really loud noise, it just strobes a light. And the idea is that you set that where either their kennel is at or wherever your dogs may be in the household in an emergency. And it comes with stickers and Velcro that you can put either on, a wall or somewhere. And that will help the firefighters when they come in to start navigating towards the rescue retriever. If they see the flashing light, to start looking where your pets may be.
Okay. I think it's a really cool idea because I don't crate my pets when I go out.
Yeah.
However, they're more contained, meaning that they have access to the living area.
Mm-hmm.
But all the doors surrounding it are closed.
Okay. So they're going to be somewhere in that living area.
They're going to be somewhere in the living area.
Yeah. And I think that's, some people will put the stickers on the windows. Not all firefighters may see that, especially when they're arriving on scene. And we don't know if, at that point, how hot the fire is. did it melt the sticker that they can't really read what it says depending on how you placed it in the window? But this one, at least their philosophy when they came up with it was, if it's strobing and it's blinking, at least that'll kind of help guide them instead of looking for stickers on windows.
Okay. All right. So what are your thoughts on people? Should they crate their dogs when they go out?
I do. I crate my dogs just because to me, I think it's a little bit safer because when you're not home or not really exactly sure what they may be getting into. So I crate them because really, quite honestly, my dogs don't mind their crate. So I keep them contained. And then that way too, if something were to happen, at least, and I have them in like one of those playpen things.
Okay.
So if something bad were to really happen, they can escape out of it. But this way too, if the fire department had to come in here, at least they're right there and they'll be able to access them versus trying to have dogs running around the house and trying to figure out where everybody is.
Okay. So besides what I mentioned, is there anything else you think that's like a good thing to have?
Well, if you don't kennel your dogs, I think a good thing to have is a kennel that's accessible, that that your animal will go into. If you're not comfortable having them in a kennel at every time that you leave the house, that's fine. But at some point in time, if there's an emergency that happens, they're gonna be in a kennel, whether that be they're throwing them in a kennel to try and escape, or whether that be you had to evacuate and now you're in a temporary shelter and they separate owners from animals. That animal's going to have to be in that kennel. So I do think an emergency kennel on hand, knowing where it's at, is probably a good tool to have.
Yeah, one of the things my husband and I were discussing was to get impact crates.
Those are very expensive, but it's nice because they fold up.
They are very, very expensive. Yes, they are. And my understanding is that if you have like 4 little dogs, you can't get like one big one and put all of them in. They're supposed to be in their own individual impact crate.
When you're traveling, yeah. Because the impact crate is accident rated.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few crates that if you were to get into an accident, your dog should be safe in there. It's not going to crumble. But if you pack all your dogs into one crate and you get into an accident, they're all going to be falling and having room to get injured versus getting a properly sized one and having them in there individually.
Yeah, there's not a huge difference in price between the small and the large. Because I know because I've priced them.
Yeah, they're definitely pricey, but it's a one and done.
Yeah. So I would need 4 small ones.
Yeah. Now, do you have a vehicle that would fit all small or all 4 dogs?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not the issue.
Yeah. And honestly, I got a gunner kennel.
That's I wanted to ask you because I was looking at gunners.
I really like it. It's a very good kennel. It's not Impact Crate has the kennels that will break down. They also have ones that don't break down. This one is more of a hard plastic, so it's more solid. Again, it's accident rated. But it's heavy. I got a large and it's almost 80 pounds.
Holy crap.
Yeah. The kennel's on wheels and there's no way, like, it doesn't fit in my car, but I got it for other purposes. They're worth their money. They're definitely worth their money.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to suck it up and get 4. Like I said, I was looking at Gunner. They are not as expensive as some of the other brands.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Because, it was here and then it left and now it's back. But I found mine on Facebook Marketplace. So if you start looking on Facebook Marketplace, you might be able to find some decent deals on there.
Well, I joined a Facebook group from a gunner distributor, I guess, someone who sells gunner.
Yeah.
And sometimes he throws some sales. So I've been watching the page. But I need 4 smalls.
Yeah. I mean, for those that are out there that are interested, check it out. Check out the Facebook Marketplace and see if there's anybody that's selling a good deal by you. Because like I said, I mean, they're one and done. So it's not like the plastic ones where they can get really destroyed. So it's worth it. It's worth looking into.
All right. So that's on my list. It probably got bumped ahead because I really want a freeze dryer.
Yeah, I've been looking into those myself.
Yeah, I've been looking into those myself.
But I actually have somebody here local, and they offered that I can use theirs and see if I like it before I make the purchase.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that, more than you think.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch a couple YouTube videos on it and make sure it's something I actually want to do. And if I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Right. Because the brand I want, I got somebody who that's part of their business. She has commercial units. So she steered me away from one brand, told me to look at another brand, and that other brand is twice the price. Yeah. and weighs like 200 pounds for the home version, not the commercial version. The home version is over 200 pounds.
Well, and the other thing that they told me too is they had to get what's the word I'm looking for? The electric outlet specifically for that. Yeah, because the ampage was too much.
The only place that has a 15 dedicated amp that's like not being used all the time is here in my office.
There you go. And apparently it sounds like a vacuum going off the whole time that it goes.
I understand it's supposed to be really loud too. So
yeah,
before I dump $3,000, I'm going to do a little bit more of my homework on that.
You might want to get those impact crates.
I think I'll focus on the impact crates first, and then looking, because I contacted the company. They're like, "Oh no, the price is going up. We can almost guarantee it."
Oh, for the impact crates?
No, I'm assuming so that too, but I'm talking about the freeze dryer.
Oh,
it's made in the U.S., meaning it's put together in the U.S., but all the parts are sourced outside. So this is price is going up. We just don't know by how much.
Nice. Well, that's definitely an investment. So I'll be interested to see if you get one, how you like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go head over to YouTube after this, and we're gonna go watch some videos.
If I end up doing a batch of cheese, which is what I want to freeze dry, and my local neighbors here, I'll let you know how it turns out.
Let me know how it turns out, because I would freeze dry fruits and vegetables and that sort of stuff, because even dehydrating, there's still there's not a long shelf life on those.
Depends on how you store them.
Yeah, but it's not years.
Yeah.
So all right, so next week we'll be back.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.